This has definitely got to be Abbott's favorite section of the racetrack. He's been right up the tailpipe of Seth Dennis each and every lap. Dennis still draws that good line on the inside. And let me tell you what, he's not backed off the pace whatsoever. White flag is out, but that does not mean surrender at all. It means the FMF crew letting you know it's a courtesy flag, just one more to go. Seth Dennis trying to guard that inside line right there. What a battle.
So again, with this being 3 divisions, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where my paper went.
Just 4/10 between their lap time right here, and that's brutally evident as our riders are working their way around the track now.
So there you go. I was looking at the wrong paper. Rodney's
No worries.
took our paper.
Rodney threw you a foul ball.
He's
been known to do that.
Foul ball. Foul.
He can do that.
I
Even I'm
panicked.
glad he's got some new socks on. He throw you a foul ball.
All right, I'm sure there's a lot of questions right now about where we're going to be in the race order and things of that nature as far as the race is concerned. Guess what? Nate and Wes hit it.
Oh.
We will
That is
not race the
heartbreaking.
458 class today. Race 36 will not race. Our goal is to get through race 35, the Schoolboy 2, Division 2. That is the goal, but we know for sure that race 36 will not run the 458 class, so they will be in the morning, likely the first class, but depends on how things continue to go. We're looking to get at least through race 35. Wes Kane hit that right on the money. Nate hit that right on the money.
You got to stop saying that on the PA, Rodney, because I guarantee you Wes is out there and he hears it right now, and he's sprinting up here right now to rub it in our noses.
Yeah, he'll float up here. You know how that
Float,
goes, man.
yeah. Rodney, here's my question. In the morning, when do they race? What time, Rodney Tomlin?
We will start with sight laps bright and early tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and begin our motos immediately following that.
So if I'm in 458 and I'm first race of the morning, I should get there about, what, 6:59, Rodney?
Probably 6:45.
6:45, okay.
If you want a sight lap, we'll do we'll start staging at 6:45, and then we'll roll out with sight laps at 7 a.m.
There you go, boys. Be locked and loaded and ready.
All right, FMF white flag up right now. And right now on the track, Everett Clark, who runs in that 3rd position, has put the fastest lap up on the board. Let's see if he'll be able to hold on to that and run it all the way in. It's a 2:10 and 600s. A 2:10 and 600s right there for Everett Clark. So he catches fire late in the moto, but it may not be enough to haul in Seth Dennis, but he is all over Nathan Abbott. And a great battle going on right there. And our lead up in front, it is not done yet. Seth Dennis, rider number 930, has seen his lead evaporate as Nathan Abbott has put the power to the ground right there. It's going to be a nice charge all the way to the finish here. They come through the chicane section, down in front of the Gizmo Mods Tower. What a battle to the wire.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to come down to it. That might have been the pass right there. Going back and forth, the 930 out in front.
Seth Dennis looks like he may be able to cover it, Mike.
Nathan Abbott, going outside. Is it going to give him enough speed? I don't think so.
Whoa. Seth Dennis to the checkered flag. Congratulations right there. Great work for him. He just does edge out Nathan Abbott. Abbott with the fastest lap on the track right there. Just couldn't put it all together. He'll end up 2nd. Everett Clark goes to 3rd. Eli Gross, number 71. We're looking for him in the 4th spot. Wyatt Bass in the top 5. Nathan Hummel, rider number 28. He'll bring it home at 6th. Austin Weinheiser, rider number 17. A good run for him to the 7th spot. Giuliano Salinas, rider number 222. He runs to the 8th position. Riley Buss. A good run for Riley. He's in the 9th spot. And it's Parker Benitez in the top 10. And Franklin Boucher. William Sokol, 13th spot. Max Vasquez. Nicholas Ford in the 14th spot. And Carson Hall makes a top 15 appearance. We'll go to our next qualifier in this 85cc 9 to 13-year-old lineup.
That was your Stasic top 10. And the BP hole shot up for grabs now for race number 32, the 85 9 to 13 division number 2 as they jockey for position in turn 1. We look at who's out there. The number 2, Logan Renninger. The number 8 of David Canfield. The number 13 of Christian Nyman. The number 14 of Kevin Weinscheiser. The number 15 of Trace Holland. The number 16 of Connor Brown. Thomas Wood on the number 43 machine. Keep your eyes on that young man. The number 61 of Tommy Calloway. The number 72 of Geronimo Roman Valosky. Nathaniel Orr on the number 81 machine. The 97 of Tristan Dalton. The 116 of Tyler Hawk. The 122 of Alexander Gaitia, I should say. The 204 of Felipe Quirino Costa. The number 278 of Jace Baker. The number 300 machine of Drew Adams. Saw some great racing out of him earlier today as well. The number 319 of Benjamin Moya. The 365 of Nicholas Frazier. The 555 of Ethan Abels. 577. This guy's already ripping, man. I'm hustling. Buren Langer. The 606 of Joseph Buskirk. The 626 of Ethan Darich. Gunnar Hikilla on the number 630 machine. The number 701 of Logan Crawford. Nico Brunnazi, the number 712, the number 723 of Landon Gibson.
Your whole shot getter in the VP Race Fuels whole shot winner.
Good eye. And, that's it. I grabbed 2 papers.
That it?
I was still
So
running down.
Right, number 723, that's your man out there. Got that great start. He's got a couple more guys going to join him. But he's got a great run, although may have had some problems right here. Is that the 300 Kawasaki? Did you call Drew's name?
I did. Yeah, that does look
Drew
like Drew Adams.
Rider number 300. Takes no prisoners out here. Kawasaki Mounted Rider's been on a storm. And he was up here hanging out in the tower, keeping an eye on the racetrack here, seeing how that was developing. And he has taken all of that information into this good run up in front.
Wow.
He's a top qualifier in this one. And he's leaving riders in his wake.
Landon Gibson and Thomas Brown duking it out for that number 2 spot, going back and forth up the face of this. Boy, you couldn't have split it with a credit card.
So once again, Landon Gibson will get credit with that VP whole shot. Drew Adams moves into the top spot. Here comes Tommy Wood. He's going to be a handful. Caden Weinheiser, Nathaniel Orr. Here comes Tommy Callow on the Callow Brothers Racing Back ride. And you got Tyler Hawk, Trace Holland, Nicholas Frazier coming through there. Tristan Dalton, Nico Pranuzzi. Good run by Gunnar Hawkala. And then Jace Baker, Connor Brown, and David Canfield, all in the top 15 right there.
Rolling. The number 300 Kawasaki of Drew Adams in control of this one. Landon Gibson and Thomas Wood were the 2 riders that were jockeying there for the number 2 spot coming through the finish line. Seeing a little bit of a gap between those riders now. So we'll get an idea of what these lap times are looking like. Again, this is the 85cc 9-13 Division 2 of 3. So out of this one, I believe that means your top 12 will advance to the main.
Be interesting to see what kind of changes we got on the second lap of this 9-13 class. A lot of the key players are up in the front of that pack, but we've also got a few spread out. We see that the 116 Tyler Hawk back there in that number 7 position, so we'll see what he's able to make happen back there from that spot as this race wears on. And nearing the completion of 2 laps. Yeah, Adams, we saw him out there earlier. He and Gibson both got off to good starts. I believe Thomas Wood might have been in that one as well, but man, Adams was able to quickly work his way. It took a couple laps, but once he got up front, man, he really put some distance between himself and the rest of the field. He's laying down some really fast laps in these divisions out here. And today in this 85 9-13-year-old division number 2's got a pretty good law laid down as well. He's only turning about 0.3 of a second faster lap than Thomas Wood is right now, but he has almost a 2-second lead. Landon Gibson, a 2:13 lap time there, 3.5 seconds back of both those riders.
Rodney, it just occurred to me. I said Drew Adams, Thomas Wood. I'm pretty sure I just called Thomas Wood Thomas Brown.
You did,
ATV Motocross.
I was going to let that slide.
I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you would think if one of us was going to say Thomas Brown, I'd have had my money on Rodney.
Yeah, well, hey, man, you never know. You're a bigger fan than you know, man.
Apparently, man. So there you go, Thomas Brown. There's your shout out here at Mini-O's.
Nathaniel Orr back in the number 4 spot. Caden Weisenauer back in 5th. In 6th place is Tommy Callow. Trace Holland in 7th now. Nick Frazier to 8th. Tyler Hawk is 9th as he drops a couple of spots. Tristan Dalton rounds out your top 10 with all the position jockeying. Jace Baker up from about 16th to 11th place aboard the 278. Nico Brunazzi in 12th. 13th, Connor Brown. Gunnar Kaikila in the number 14 spot. David Canfield in 15th. Logan Crawford 16th. 17th, Christian Nyman. 18th is Logan Reniger. Felipe Cuerno Costa in 19th. And Ethan Darrick in the number 20 spot. You like my Spanish there, don't you?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Es bueno. Muy bueno.
I don't know if it was close to being right or not, but I said it fast enough that I made you think that it's right.
Mi hermano es Rodney Tomlin.
Are you now? Nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
Gringo. Hey, look at this, man. Look at the shadows out there as far as the riders, not the shadows on the track. Other than Drew Adams, cannot lose his shadow. It's a little long shadow for him, but Thomas Wood still back in that number 2 spot as he is keeping a very tight pace with Adams right now. Again, they were only about 0.3 of a second difference on lap time last time around. They were 1.9 seconds apart. And I'm going to guess there isn't much difference this time as we cross the finish line stripe for lap number 3 complete.
Yeah, Drew Adams still out in front, that number 300. Kawasaki checks in.
Actually, Thomas Wood was just a little bit faster. 2:08s, both these guys picking it up. Wood almost a second and a half faster or better, but Drew Adams certainly a second faster at 2:08.4, a 2:08.085 for Thomas Wood. So the gap now 1.5 as they cross the finish line stripe, and we may see this start to heat up again. It was hot on lap number 1, Mikey. Now it's starting to heat up on lap number 4.
Yeah, I got to think we're probably going to see him on that Racer X live drone here in a hot second. Well, maybe not. I missed that shot. But yeah, you're right. It's a 1.5 second difference between them when they checked in. But 43 KTM of Thomas Wood is hard on the charge. He's just off screen right there.
Yeah, looks like this part of the track might lend itself a little better to the 300 of Drew Adams, or he kicked it up a gear or something, because we're starting to see that gap open up between first and second place. And I have to think that maybe Thomas might have had a little bit of a miscue back there that has slowed his momentum down just a smidge and opened that gap up. But then again, as we approach this section of the racetrack, I've often seen riders in the early part of the racetrack, like where we see those riders coming in from, be faster, and then the other rider be a little faster through this section. It's a little more timing, the 20 miles of bad road, as we like to say, through there, through that whoop section. And then, of course, you know, you've got all this timing sections and these jumps through here.
That nails it right there, Rodney. As you can see on screen, Thomas Wood, make sure I say Wood, looks like he was gaining on him a little bit right there. And just as soon as I say that, Drew Adams, there he is, pops on screen. So he's got him in his sights. It is a 5-lap moto. They're going to get the white flag here in a second, and then we'll have an idea of whether or not Thomas Wood's willing to risk it.
Well, I got to wonder, and I think that they may be faster than the 2:08 click that we just saw there last time around. We may be looking at a 2:07 for these youngsters here on lap number 4 as we wrap this one up.
As they head up the face of that finish line, we'll get the white flag, and we are on the FMF last lap. 2:08 and 2:09, Rodney.
Yeah, 2:08.3. So Drew Adams held a pretty good steady pace that last time around. Thomas Wood dropping off. So I think he did have a little bit of a miscue coming out of one of those turns out there. Maybe a little too much wheel spin or something. It lost a second or so. So Wood was able to gain that. Landon Gibson in the number 3 spot now, 12 seconds back. Nathaniel Orr in the number 4 spot. Tommy Callow, Trace Holland in your 5th and 6th place positions as we continue to watch Drew Adams stretch his lead out here over the back of the Gators. Yeah, there's Orr, Callow, Holland. Weisenauer now should be checking in and does in 7th place position, looking for Frazier. Tyler Hawk in 9th. Tristan Dalton to round out your top 10. So no changes back through this pack. Chase Baker in 11th. Nico Bernazzi in the number 12 spot. Actually, Tristan Dalton around Tyler Hawk now as Hawk drops to 10th. Jace Baker, I think, losing some time back there as well, as to 11th. Nico Bernazzi, 12th. Connor Brown in 13th. 14th, Gunnar Haikala. 15th, David Canfield. Logan Crawford, 16th. Christian Nyman in 17th. And Logan Reniger rounds out the 18th and final transfer position. Drew Adams on screen as we watch him through this final lap of racing. Mikey Waynes through the Final time through, at least here today for him in this 20 miles of bad road.
Drew Adams, he did some good things. He did some great things in Supercross. And so far here today, Rodney, he's showing up on the big boy track and doing that exact same thing. I mean, he's just rode some good races out there. He's been able to get out in front early and just be able to ride his own race, ride within his own helmet, and it's been him against the track so far today.
I mentioned it out there with the 50 cc's, the 7 to 8-year-olds, and the maturity level that they have shown us here this week. And again, it just goes right on up through the ranks. These kids at this age, so mature in the way they ride and the way that they win. And Drew Adams knocks off Moto #1 win in Division #2 of the 85 9-13. Thomas Wood will finish up in the #2 spot, a couple of seconds back. We're looking for Landon Gibson, Nathaniel Orr, Tommy Callow, Trace Hall, and Caden Weisenhour, Nick Frazier, Tristan Dalton, and Tyler Hawk to round out the top 10 as we look at the STACYC leaderboard. And we should see Jace Baker, Nico Bernazzi, Connor Brown, Gunnar Heikalik, Logan Crawford, Kristen Nyman, David Canfield, Logan Renniger round out the top 18 and final transfer spots, barring no changes for those guys. As we roll on to our next race, Mikey Waynes, that was race 32. This will be race 33. Actually, we only took the top 12 in that one. I didn't realize this was a 3-division race. So,
my apologies.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
To the folks at home.
Yeah, so the folks at home knew I was the only ignorant one. That's okay.
No,
it happens sometimes, man, and it happens.
I'll speak for Rodney here. It's Thursday, doggone. We've been going full throttle since Sunday.
I got out of here and hit the ground running on Sunday. So our final transfer spot will be Nico Bernuzzi on the number 712. There's the gate down on this one.
VP hole shot up for grabs, courtesy of VP Racing Fuels. Get you some here at the track. Who is out there? That's what you're wondering. It's Division 3. You probably hadn't heard your rider's name yet. If you hadn't, here they are. Katie Nalder on the number 12 machine. Chase Eglantowitz on the number 20 machine. 25 of Jessen Turner. Number 26 of Peyton Prouty. Number 27 of Brad Rosenbarg. The number 37 of Landon Peppard. Keep your eyes on that guy. The number 53, he actually just dropped off some salmon, the family did, for West Kane.
Wow, nice.
From Alaska.
Nice.
That's the real stuff, man. Augustin Berenici on the number 53 machine, another guy to definitely keep an eye on out there. Connor Cook.
He may be the one, or is it? No.
Number 53 KTM is Berenici.
All right, so we'll double check that again, but we got some KTMs up front, and they're getting that sorted out. Keep going. I'm sorry.
That's good. 64 Jackson Schiller on the number 64 machine. The 81 slash of Cole Burkeen. The 99 of Aiden Bailey. The number 100 of Jack Mills. The number 101 of Kyler Rome. The 109 of William Tucker. Chase Anderson on the 113. Nathan Hutwagner on the number 125. The 132 of Alex Colley. Number 137 of Nathan Beerbaum. Colton Wedgen on the number 142. And Corey Bruce on the 147. Milo Moss on the number 203. The 317 of Logan Mortberg. Deacon Deno on the number 419. Bradley Hutwagner on the 619. The 734 of Reese Wheaton. And the 904 of Brennan Harrison out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, our leaders making their way into the front stretch now as we pick up what's going on here. It is the number 60 machine of Connor Cook opening up with the early lead out here, and he does have plenty of company, and it is coming hard. It is coming fast. And it is Berenici back in the number 2 spot. And that 37 machine of Landon Peppard back in the number 3 position. So that's the way we start him out here on lap number 1. Cook, Berenici, Landon Peppard, Logan Mortberg in the number 4 spot. Deacon Dino getting off to a good start finally and starting out in a 5th place position with Jesse Turner in 6th, Nathan Beerbaum in 7th, Kyler Rome in 8th, Reese Wheaton in 9th, Brennan Harrison rounding out the top 10, then Nathan Bailey and Brad Rosenbarg. Your 11th and 12th place position riders at the end of lap number 1. Yeah, so, I've been watching Dino. That name really stands out to me. I like the name, and I've seen the kid ride before, but something about, Supercross, he wasn't getting the starts he was looking for, but you could see him working his way up through the pack. Same thing, in the mains as it was in the qualifiers and so forth, but nonetheless, out here today to see him get this start, I know he had struggles on some starts earlier today, but man, a good one out here today. So starting out in top 5.
No doubt about that, Rodney. Landon Peppard had started reeling in Berenici. He took an outside line. I think
Oh,
it cost
down
him a
goes
little bit, and down he
Berenici.
goes. I believe that. Yeah, that is Berenici.
Yeah.
Man, what a heartbreaker. He's quick on the machine. Can he get her fired up? He does. I think that cost him, what, at least 2 positions, Rodney?
I'm thinking 4, maybe
4.
3. Yeah, so here we
blinked.
go. Yeah, we're behind him. There's the Suzuki ride of Jesse Turner, who's 6, so that dropped him back to 6th place position. So we'll say at 3 anyway. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So 3, 4 positions back there. Connor Cook still leading this one aboard the number 60. Now that will give him a little bit of breathing room there. And looks like things are starting to also tighten up at the same time for that second place position. Peppard all over, or actually Mortberg all over the rear wheel of Landon Peppard. This is the battle for the second place position now. Look at that, over the tabletop.
Man.
In front of the Gizmo Monster. A little different line choices. Let's see how this is going to. Oh, I think we may have just seen the pass. Oh, did Mortberg get around? No, yes, no. Actually, that is Peppard getting around Cook. I thought that was the second battle for second place. Man, Peppard really reeled in the number 60 of Connor Cook on that lap.
Oh, he's all over that rear wheel, Rodney, as they went through that finish line.
So there you go. That is the battle for the lead. Logan Mortberg now 4 seconds back. My apologies. We'll see how many spots.
Oh, man. He's got him on the inside, Rodney. He's got him on the ropes. We're wheel to wheel right now. Who's going to be the faster man?
Peppard on the outside, man. He threaded that needle as they set the head up and over the Gator's head now and onto the back of the Gator. That double step up there. The dinner tables.
The speed of Peppard right there.
Yeah, unbelievable. But look, Cook's trying to match it back, though. He's not letting him get away.
These two guys duking it out. This is some good race in this 85cc class. And they're not done. Keep in mind, a 5-lap moto for them. So we got about 2.5 laps of this left.
Just to put it in perspective, Austin Berenici lost just under 10 seconds of time on your leader. So that's the difference between he and this battle for the lead right now. So 2 laps down. We'll see if Berenici maybe can ride with a little bit of fever and see how close he can get to this battle up front. It wouldn't surprise me is what I'm trying to say.
I got to think he's going to push for that top 3.
Oh, easy.
In this outdoor format, I mean, every position counts. And he's going to be pushing.
Peppard has really put the distance between himself now and Connor Cook for second place. So what was a heated battle has subsided now as we roll through the home stretch now, headed toward the Gator pit. We'll head by the
man,
tabletop.
where is Connor Cook?
Maybe about to find himself some company in Logan Mortberg and Deacon Dino. Dino moving up into that number 4 spot at obviously the expense of Berenici's misfortunes, as everyone did there, including Peppard, who took full advantage of it to take over the lead. As we do that at the end of lap number 3, he puts it in the history books as your leader now. Landon Peppard, a boy from Alaska, a young man from Alaska. Connor Cook in second, Logan Mortberg in third. He's now 3.8 seconds back. Man, Peppard turning a 2:11, 2:15 for Cook, 2:14 for Mortberg. Berenici a 2:12 as he's up to 4th place and only 2 seconds behind Mortberg. He is now 8 seconds out of the lead of Peppard, but Peppard is a free and clear racetrack ahead, and if he can lay down this kind of lap times, it's going to be tough for anybody to track him down at this point.
Man, I'm looking at the 3:17 or Logan Mortberg in that number 3 spot, Rodney. He finished it, was about a second faster than Connor Cook in that number 2 spot. And I'm not going to be shocked at all if he's not battling for that number 2 position before we see that checkered flag.
Well, he will have Berenici in tow as well. That would be a 3-way battle for that second spot, in my opinion, if I'm seeing things break down the way that I think they're going to break down here. 3 laps in, Dino in the number 5 spot, Wheaton in 6th, Jesse Turner 7th, Kyler Rome in 8th, Brennan Harrison is 9th, Nathan Beerbaum in 10th, Alex Colley and Aiden Bailey running 11th and 12th. So they're checking in, working on lap number 4 out on the far side of the racetrack, the Gators' tail. The big sandy, used to be a big sandy super anyway. It's changed up quite a bit. Of course, grade away the sweeper there now, to be honest with you. Coming into that 20 miles of bad road. A lot of changes. You see these changes, you know, a lot of folks were expecting these to look fresh and new, but these changes were made on the track several months ago, so they've had time to seed in and grass growing on the jumps and things like that, so it looks like a more natural look and feel to the race course than probably what a lot of folks were expecting. This is the battle for second. Mortberg is all over the rear wheel of Connor Cook now as we near the completion of lap 4. And Mortberg is going for the pass as we get set to drop down into the Gator pit.
And the 317 take him. Oh, that put the gap on him a little bit right there. We'll see if he can get some speed around this outside line.
There's Berenici as anticipated.
Oh.
Three-way shootout for second heading into the 5th lap. That's lap 4 in the history books. White flag is out. One more to go for these 85, 9, to 13-year-old riders.
Berenici looking to go 2 for 1. He said, I was in that number 1 spot. I want it back. I don't know if I can get there, but by God, number 2 is in my sights.
And I tell you, if he can get up.
Oh, he got him.
Yeah, there is one. If he can get up to the number 2 spot, it's not a win, but we know what that means when it comes to second motos, especially if you take the win there. It helps out the overall. Man, it's so.
Almost elbow to elbow right there, Rodney.
They are really rolling out through there, Mikey Waynes. These kids mean business. They all want these spots.
How about that Racer X live drone?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's a game
Sometimes
changer.
I find myself becoming a race fan and just kind of drifting away, no doubt. I mean, it's hard to make the race call just because you're just in awe of what's going on that shot. Cook still out front of Berenici now in the number 3 now 2 spot as he makes the pass, threading the needle, heading back on the back of the Gator once again, dropping down on the tail now. The big sweeper out by the road. Berenici moving into second place. That would put him a full 10 plus seconds now behind Pepper. But again, as we said, moto format, this could play huge dividends for him to be able to regain this position back up to second, even with the 3 divisions out here.
Yeah, that nails it right there. I mean, you gotta hold your head high in this one if you're Berenici. Just knowing what happened to him going down early and being able to work his way back up for that number 53 KTM machine, he's got to have some good takeaways.
Top 12, 11 of the top 12 are KTMs. 1 Suzuki, Jesse Turner, the number 25, back in the number 7 position. That tells you how dominant these KTM riders are out here this year at Gatorback Cycle Park. As we roll toward the checkers, Landon Pepper looking for the big win. There's Berenici now in the number 2 spot. Checkers are unfurling, and Pepper's through now. I was going to say he should be through by now. There comes second place now. Berenici up from 4th to second place position. Logan Mortberg into 3rd. Connor Cook in 4th. Deacon Dino in 5th. Reese Wheaton will be your 6th place finisher. Jesse Turner in 7th. The lonely Suzuki in the top 12. Tyler Rome, the 101 in 8th. Brennan Harrison in 9th. 10th. Nathan Beerbaum 11th. Alex Colley 8th. Bailey rounds out your top 12 as you look at your Stacey Ability top 10 board there on RacerTV.com. Again, top 12 do transfer, just throwing those extra ones in there for you. Yeah, so Braun moves up to 7th. Turner will chop off to the 8th place position. But KTM's 11 out of 12. Pretty impressive if you ask me. So we go to Schoolboy 2 class, division number 1, race 34. We hope to have this and one more race before the day is done here. As the sun is certainly setting here today, no doubt about it.
See on screen there, it's trying to peek behind those trees. But I got to say,
it's not as dark as that camera is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's definitely not doing it justice to how bright it is.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I think running this Schoolboy 2 race, not saying it's easier by any means, but I think the sun was more of a factor in the last one than what we're going to see these guys.
What's going to happen is that sun's going to drop completely behind the trees, and we won't have those long shadows cast, which I think just now happened as the gate is down in this one.
VP whole shot up for grabs. VP Racing Fuel Schoolboy 2. Who's out there? 2 divisions.
Oh, a couple guys down 239 and 113, I think, but go ahead.
The number 3 of Michael McLean, the number 5 of Jaden Claw, the number 5 of Jaden Claw, number 9 of Daniel Scott, the number 15 of Gavin Towers, big name. Keep your eye on that Team Green Monster Energy Cowie out there. The number 16 of Miles Gilmore, the 41 of Mason Grekua, the number 45 of Slade Barola, the number 48 of Brandon Espitigas, the number 52 of Travis Mecking, the number 55 of Casey Pater, number 64 of Nicholas Igo, Cole Godfrey on the number 65, Evan Payer on the number 70, the number 71, Talon Hawkins, another name to keep an eye on out of California on the Husky. Evan Ferry, that number 75 Rockstar Husky, doing great in Supercross side. Can he do the same thing here? Kimball Jett, another big name. Thomas Welch, the number 98. The 142 of Sage Lewis. Grayson Fair, the number 186. The 222 of Caden Broswell. The 228 of Jordan Bees. The 239 of Benjamin Garib. Daxton Bennick on the number 241. The 271 of Brandon Rosenbard. The 402 of Gage Linville, big name right there as well. And the 841 of Ryder Beth.
222. Braswell grabbing the early lead in this one. We'll call it the VP Fuels hole shot, if you will. But Braswell, the 222 out front out of Shalimar, Florida in this one on that KTM. But he's got plenty of company coming in a head full of steam. A little bit of gap right now as we near the completion. Oh, and a big pass there by our Kawasaki mounted ride, the number 15 machine of Gavin Towers out of Phoenicia, PA on the Team Green Monster Energy Kawasaki. Dropping down into the Gator Pit now. We got some real battling going on. We'll get the stage set. Gavin Towers is looking to go right straight to the front of the pack right now as he passes into second. Now got Caden Braswell setting his sights. That's Daxton Bennick, the 241 back in third. Jake Clough in fourth. Gage Linville in fifth. Talon Hawkins in sixth. Jordan Bees back to the number 7 spot. 8th place is Sage Lewis. Grayson Fair, Nick Igo rounding out the top 10. And look at this, down into the Gator Pit and heading up onto the Gator itself. The challenge trying to be made by Gavin Towers, but Braswell still being able to keep that slight gap of just under a second between himself and the 15 machine.
Knocking on the door, it's Daxton Pinnock in that number 3 spot. Jaden Clark in 4th on that number 5 Kawasaki. Rodney, this might be the one we've been waiting for, where we see that wild finish at the finish line. Right now, though, Caden Braswell, he has got open track in front. Ooh, little misstep right there. But overall, man, he's in control of this one.
Little paddling going through there for Braswell, but still keeping a good momentum and still keeping that gap in the 15 machine of Gavin Towers, really turning it on in this Schoolboy 2 class here as we drop onto the backside of the race course on the Gator's tail now as we head down. Daxton Bennick now starting to see that gap open up, and I believe we may even have some changes starting to happen back there. Gage Linville still back in the number 5 spot. Jaden Clough back in the number 4 position, I guess I should say. But here we go. That might be Linville up to a 3rd place position as we're watching Braswell and Towers. And looking back behind, that looks like the Yamaha mounted ride to me of Linville possibly.
They just changed camera view right before he jumped onto screen there, but we'll get a shot of him.
That is.
Right here. He's flirting with it. You're right, Rodney.
So Gage Linville moving up into the number 3 spot. We saw Daxton Bennick there mounting that challenge on Gavin Towers at the early part of the lap. So things have already changed. And look at the force at which Gage Linville is riding with and coming with from that 5th place position at the end of lap number 1.
You gotta be kidding me. We'll see. They're gonna clock in with 2 laps completed. Caden Broswell, lap time 1:59. A 1:59 for Gavin Towers.
1:58.2 for Gage Linville.
402 Yamaha. Keep your eyes on that guy in 3rd place. That Yamaha is on the move right now. Jaden Clough behind him, a 2-minute flat for him on that number 5 Kawasaki, and Daxton Bennick rounds out that top 5.
As we turn our attention back up front once again, yes, watching Gage Linville, the 402, just popping off the fastest lap time of this Schoolboy 2 class so far, 1:58.2, about a second plus faster than your leader, and running only a little over a second behind the leader when you put the things together in the big picture. And Gavin Towers is feeling a lot of heat now as we drop back up onto the top of the Gator's back and start to wind our way toward the completion of this 3rd lap. And I'm sure that Gavin Towers is thinking right now it's not going to be complete soon enough.
Gotta keep his eyes on Caden Broswell out front. Don't lose sight about what's in front of you. Meanwhile, Gage Linville, you're right, that 402 all over that rear wheel, kind of pulling in on him, choosing. Whoa! Getting real squirrely there for Gavin Towers.
Must have dropped that foot. Something happened. It goes flying back, man. But again, no real momentum loss. I'm sure the heart rate just spiked there for just a moment, and probably the concentration level dipping just a little. See if Gage Linville can take advantage of it, as it looks like he may be going for the setup now.
He's got him in the crosshairs right now, Rodney. That 402 Yamaha going inside, split lane section right here. Who's going to come out in front? Who's got the advantage?
Well, Towers crosses back over and gets right in front of the 402 machine, so he's got at least those lines dialed in. He's see what happens dropping down into the Gator pit, and it looks like, wow, Towers I thought was going to try to protect that inside line, but he goes to the inside of the bottom of the hill and protects that line instead. But it looks like a good drive for the 402 of Linville. A huge drive as he jumps way past the 15.
Are you kidding me? Look at the back and forth right now between Towers and Linville.
He landed 2 bike lengths ahead of the 15 machine of Gavin Towers, and flat landed out there just past that finish line.
Now Linville's got his sights set on Caden Broswell. It is going to be a 6-lap moto for these guys. Keep that in mind. We're at the halfway point. Towers has got not a lot of real estate in between him and Broswell. Now the last lap around, Broswell ran a 1:59. Towers a 2-minute flat, but you got to think he was battling with Linville right there. Flip-flop that, Rodney. Talking about Gage Linville. You knew what I was saying at home. So Linville running a 1:59, just like Broswell out in front. We'll see if it's enough for him to catch up on the rear wheel.
Well, Caden Braswell better check the weather radar, because the storm is rolling in, and it's rolling in hard right now. We may have a hurricane blowing in, as Gage Linville has got that 222 machine in his sights on the far side of this racetrack now as they head around the Gator's Tail.
That 402 Yamaha, man, I'm telling you, he is looking good and clean out there right now. Broswell has done a good job, though, Rodney. He has been in the lead since the beginning, and you can tell he's riding with purpose out there right now. He knows, I got to stay in this helmet. Don't look over the shoulder. Now is not the time to look in the rear view.
Not at all, and he knows that he is in control, and so does Gage Linville at this particular point, but he wants to get the hand on this one as we see riders now checking in the home stretch. And look at this, switching up lines. Linville side by side.
Are you kidding me?
He threads the needle there, going over the tabletop there in front of the Gizmo Mods Tower, and takes over the lead. Gage Linville here on lap number 4. Now the big question is, will he be able to maintain this pace and keep that lead?
He's a little tripped. Good job by Gage Linville to keep it on 2 wheels. Lost a little bit of time there. It doesn't matter. He's still out in front. A 157 for Gage Linville.
Wow, laying down the law out here, no doubt about it. Talk about hand. Gage Linville has the upper hand. Braswell in second. Gavin Towers now in third, dropping to a 2:01 lap time. Jaden Clough in number 4 spot. Talon Hawkins up the 5th. Daxton Bennick in 6th. Jordan Bees in 7th. Mark Phineas now in the 8th place position. Sage Lewis is 9th. Benjamin Gyree rounds out your top 10. A little further back, Grayson Fair, Michael McLean, Kimball Chet, Evan Payer, and Slade Varrola round out your top 15. Nick Ico, Brandon Espy Teagues in 17th, Ryder Beth in 18th, Travis Meckling in 19th, and Brian Rosenbarg rounds out your top 20.
Keep in mind your top 18 advance to the main, so that number 18 spot's what you want at the very least.
Wow, so I tell you, we paid so much attention to what's going on with that 402 of Gage Linville. Give us a chance now to settle back. Now, Talon Hawkins is another rider that's been on the move. I've seen him move up a couple of spots. I believe he started out this one in 7th place. Daxton Bennick, a rider who was up front battling for one of the early top spots, has dropped off to a 6th place position now. But another rider that's on the move, 2 of them I'm watching out for, Jordan Bees and Mark Phineas. Phineas, we did not even see, if I remember right, on the first lap or 2, really racing anywhere close to the top 10, but here later in the race he has really closed up a lot of ground, turning at 2:03 in the midst of these riders, and I expect that we maybe see him inching up to a 7th or maybe 6th place position by races in. We still got a lap or 2 to go in this one. I believe maybe a couple more, so actually Phineas might even break a top 5 before this one's said and done.
So we should get, it's a 6-lap moto for him, Rodney, so we should get that white flag next time they come out. Sounds like Towers is down.
Yeah, Towers goes down.
It's not on screen, but Towers goes down.
So he's going to get himself picked back up and collected, I guess, and we're going
Still down on the track right now. I think they're going to get medics to him, Rodney.
Oh, mercy.
So that's a tough break for Towers right now.
He's off to the side of the track. He's holding his right arm, or is it his right leg?
Goggles come off.
I think that's his right leg. That looks like maybe more of a leg injury, or who knows. I'm not going to speculate at this.
Medics are with him right now.
Yeah, he's moving. He's responsive and everything, but he's in a lot of pain right now as well. That changed the face of this one. Linville, Braswell, Clough now up to third. Hawkins into fourth. Bennick is fifth. Jordan Bees in sixth. Mark Phineas is now seventh. Gavin Towers will keep dropping back through the pack, so that'll move Benjamin Garib up, Sage Lewis, and Kimball Jett up to a number 10 spot now as we roll into the FMF last lap of racing. Sage Lewis up to 8th. Garib is up to 9th place. Kimball Jett in 10th. Evan Payer in 11th. We'll see Fair moving up. It's actually Michael McCling up to 12th place position. Slade Varola in 13th. Grayson Fair drops to 14th. Nicholas Igo now is your 15th place ride. So as we roll into this final lap, look for Ryder Breath, Brandon Ashby Teagues, Cole Godfrey to all be part of a contention for the top 18. Thomas Welch also actually the 98, just less than a second out in that 19th place position, may be looking for a spot as well. Looks like we may see a battle being waged right here on this final lap. That might have been Braswell and Clough there for that second place position. But there's your leader, Gage Linville, Mikey Waynes, on his way home to Checkers.
That 402 Yamaha, man, Rodney, he worked his butt off in this one. Throws the foot out there a little bit. He knows, man. Good, clean race here at the end. I'm going to bring this thing home for a win, and a well-earned win. Once he got out in front, that 402 Yamaha checked out to Laterville, said sayonara, see you tomorrow.
Man, a nice set of chatter bumps or braking bumps going down that hill into that turn, but the Checkers are out. Linville takes the win in this one. Man, a well-deserved win, fighting through the pack to make it happen. Does it with authority. A 1:57.854 is his fastest lap time. Braswell, Clough, Talon Hawk, and Daxton Bennick, Jordan Bees, Mark Phineas all the way up to 7th, so a good ride for him. Sage Lewis in 8th, Benjamin Garib in 9th, 10th place Kimball Jett. That's your STACYC Stability Cycle top 10 results board. Now, Mark Phineas, I say good job because he had to work his way up into position. He's usually a rider who likes to be one of the riders battling for contention for the win out there, believe it or not.
Rodney, give the folks at home, if you're wondering, an update on Towers. He is still with the medics. Now, he was able to get up under his own power. He's sitting in the shotgun seat of the side-by-side down there.
Yep.
The jersey's off, but, doesn't look like anything extremely serious. I'll say we don't know how serious, but he's moving under his own power.
You hit the ground at that speed, man. I'm sure it's not going to tickle. That's for doggone sure. Hey, check out our drone sitting on the top of the dog box there on that shot right there.
Look at the Racer X placement as well, man.
I like that. There you go. There goes the live drone, the Racer X live drone, taking off for flight. I believe that was our last race of the day, my friends. Division 1, we got most of the way through where we wanted to get, I believe. So we'll pick up with race 35 tomorrow morning. Schoolboy 2, Division 2. Actually, we'll send out first call 6:45 bright and early for you tomorrow morning. Sight laps will begin at 7. There'll be one continuous sight lap, and we should be racing by about 7:10, 7:15. So you folks on RacerTV.com, be sure and join us back then as well. On behalf of all of us here at RacerTV.com, and including our staff, of course, Megawatt Matt Watson, Wes Kane, Mikey Waynes, and the voice of Florida, we're talking about Jeff Hines, and myself, Rodney Tomlin. Have a great night, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.